All right, what's up YouTube? HairgelGravel here. This is the first episode of the NAMBLA-X Stream Destroyer. Today I'm going to be having on SDNW, RedWineMimsy, and FilledWithLed from NAMBLA, NAMBLINGS, and NAMBLETS respectively. So anyways, I'm going to kind of turn it over to them, and they can kind of fill you in on who they are, and I guess we'll start off with SDNW.
Hey, what's up, everybody? So yeah, everyone pretty much knows me as Stalin or SDNW. Stalin's my game name at the moment. So I am a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, and I specialize in Mystic Fantasy. I've made it to rank 2 in the world was my highest. I did that last season during my 24-hour stream, and yeah, pretty much just a big Mystic Fantasy fanboy. So yeah.
Cool. RedWineMimsy.
Yeah, hi everybody. I'm sorry for if you guys don't understand my English. It's not my first language. Yeah, I'm RedWineMimsy. I'm actually from Denmark, but living in Sweden currently. Yeah, I don't know what to say.
All right, and FilledWithLed.
What's up, guys? FilledWithLed. I play either sci-fi adventure, fantasy sci-fi. No mystic. Though I have the mats if anybody wants to trade me. Yeah, I don't have any channels. I'm just HairgelGravel's in real life friend.
Cool. So we're gonna kind of just go through this as just more or less an open conversation, and we'll kind of let everyone say their piece on different topics that I've got picked out here. So I guess we'll jump right into Season 2 in the BFU since we had the reset today. Does anyone want to talk about their legendary reset pack and what they got?
Yeah, mine was pretty garbage.
Same. Well, for the most part.
Actually, mine was pretty fucking awesome. I got like 10 reds and 10 Sharons and 10 butters, all cards that I have currently in my deck. So it was very sweet.
Nice.
See, I didn't get a single thing for my deck. So
Oh.
I got 10 mats, 10 fantasy mats, and that was it.
Oh, that's pretty rough.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I got a Shield Maiden, which was worth it, but other than that, I got 10 regens, and then like Gizmo Ike and Amazingly Randy for all 5 of my epics.
I posted a video of my pack on my YouTube, so anyone that's tuning in and wants to check that out, it's up there. It wasn't the best pack, but I got like 13 lightning bolts, which was really nice.
That's a lot of lightning.
Yeah.
That's a lot of lightning.
And yeah, it got me really close to 40, and I got a man-bear pig at the end, which I wasn't not happy about it.
Right.
Like, yeah, like I wasn't gonna be like, oh shit, I got man-bear pig, like fuck me.
But it's just me, but I heard a lot of people got man-bear pig like at the same within the same hour time frame. That particular day, I also got a man-bear pig, and 2 other of my friends wrote me that they got him as well that day. So I don't think I think there was something about, I don't know if Red Wings maybe just throw a lot of man-bear pig out there to grab.
Just pushed a bunch of man-bear pig out. Funny enough, though, on Tuesday when I was live streaming, I picked up 2 legendaries and within a half an hour at the end of my stream, and one of them was man-bear pig and the other one was Inuit Kenny. So like I got 2 man-bear pigs this week, so I'm not complaining at all.
There you go, man. It's time to run revive the man-bear pig.
Yeah, exactly. I've been behind those Pope Timmies. No, I haven't.
I've transmogrified that combo before.
Yeah, everyone's running Unholy Combustion now anyways, because SDNW has it in his deck. Yeah. So did anyone get anything cool in the Race to Legendary reward pack? Because like I did not get visitors.
I just got my visitors, which was like all I guess I got some Alien Queen Reds too, which was nice. But just visitors.
4 visitors.
I got
Couple Clydes.
That was your first 4?
One
Yeah, that was my first 4 visitors, so I got them. I just boosted them straight to 2 right off the bat.
Nice. And what about you, Mimsy?
I only got one. It was my first one, and I donated right away because fuck him.
You can give him to SDNW. He's collecting.
I'm gonna start requesting to.
It's not like it's gonna help my Mimsy on the battlefield to have 2 fucking aliens with 15 in health or. That's not gonna help out.
I bet you at level 4 though they would mesh well with Mimsy.
Yeah, but if it took me 1 year to get one visitor, imagine how many years it would take me to get into level 4.
For sure.
So it looks like we're having some trouble hearing us in the stream chat right now. So
Let me just.
mic just slightly.
Yeah, I'll boost the. I'm gonna boost the desktop audio up. All right.
That'll probably be better.
Yeah, because normally I have the desktop audio in the background for the game, so I usually have it turned down pretty low. But I just boosted it up, so if you guys kind of talk now, maybe they might be able to hear.
Can you guys hear us now? Please comment on it.
Yeah, please let us know.
Yeah, we don't want to get through this whole thing with no one hearing.
To the end. Silent recording.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, visitors wouldn't help me in my deck either, so that's not really like beneficial.
I think I could use them if they could get high enough, but that's gonna take a long time.
Yeah, I think the only guy that probably really benefited from getting visitors in that pack is Average Guy.
Yeah, he's the only person I've seen saving those up.
Yeah, him and Buck.
For you,
Yeah.
that rat swarm's for you.
Oh, nice. Rats for me. Toss that my way. I don't even think I have a request out right now, but I'm getting real close to those level 5 rats. They're like the only thing holding my deck back.
Nice.
But I'll get into that when we talk about decks later. But yeah, so how's everyone liking the new legendary matchmaking?
Love it. Actually,
Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with it because I keep running into Slavius like probably about 30 times the 2 days before the reset. So
Yeah, because he
it's
came
up and
over
down
to
for me.
he came over to North America.
Yep. But I helped him get back to rank 1 because I straight told him, I was like, man, if I ever like end up like taking a bar off you for whatever reason, I'm just gonna give it to you. Not that I ever did take a bar off of him, but he was at rank 2 for a little bit because of some DCs, but then after beating me one time, he ended up finally getting back to 1. So I'm taking a little credit for
Fair
helping
enough.
him get to rank 1.
Fair enough. You gotta help the family out.
For sure. As if he couldn't beat me on his own.
No, yeah, I watched him. I watched him open the pack on your YouTube channel this morning, and all I did was just like in awe of 504,000 tickets. Like that was just like the 38,000 cash. I was like, okay, well, like yeah, you put in a lot of money, I get that, but like the 504,000 tickets, and like I guarantee you, he spends a lot of tickets in the shop every day.
Wow.
Yeah, he's nonstop grinding. He's on vacation right now, so hopefully he's grinding a little less with the reset. But
Yeah, well, it's a good time to just kind of kick back and get your 3 or 4 packs a day and just kind of call it that for a bit and get back into the swing of things near like maybe mid-season.
yeah, for sure.
But anyways, what about you, Red Wine?
Yeah, I think the new legendary matchmaking is quite good. It's gotten better with time, so I'm appreciating it because yeah, it's before that it was just a living hell to get a good rank because of either you got like your opponent is like 2,000 or plus, or it's like top 50 guys. So there's like it's more variable currently with the new matchmaking.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that because like before the matchmaking, I was just getting like stomped 60% of the matches just because I was so like there was such a big gap. Like I was down 15 to 1800, and like I would play, you know, a top 500 match every, you know, 3 or 4 matches in, and it's just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was exactly the same for me. I dropped, and yeah, it was kind of annoying, but yeah, it has gotten better. I'm around 600 or 700 ranking right now, so I'm good with it.
It's good to keep me from getting rusty, that's for sure, because I know that I would go just match after match with nothing but 1,000 plus, and that's not really a challenge when you're like in the top 50-ish range.
Oh yeah, your cards just out-level them, so it's kind of just like point and click, and it's like, oh man, I played the wrong card, but it's still alive, so...
Yeah. Yep, so at least now I'm getting a little better practice and getting...
broken again.
Well, Hyperdrive is still a little...
It still looks... I'm just playing right now. It doesn't look the same.
Yeah,
it looks like it's still going too fast.
I think they're supposed to have a hotfix coming out.
Like the new kid just took out 3 level 5 rats in like 2 seconds.
But it's attack animations though, so the new kid, like, because the attack animations are still sped up, so the new kid would still have that fast zap.
Oh, well, anyways, doesn't matter.
Anyways,
we'll get to those.
Yeah, well, we got tons of time for that. I find though, like with the new legendary matchmaking, at least for the end of season 2, I found that like as long as you played daily, you really like honed in on where your skill set set, because like I was fluctuating basically from like 15 and 11 just constantly. Like I wouldn't drop out of those 400 ranks, so I figured, you know, this is probably where I should be. But today, unfortunately, I played a bunch of new kids that were like level 16 through 18 that were in the 2000s and just dropped me right out of my 1500 rank that I ended the season with.
Rank is going to be really volatile right now because the ELO system was reset. I don't believe it was fully reset last season. I believe we still kept our ELO. So this season I have been, like, I think I came in at like 48 and then went down to like 7 and then like back to like 20 something and back to 40 something and back down to 20 something. It's all over the place. Right now it'll be a while until ELO gets really
okay,
fixed.
So yeah, so like people are getting lots of ELO from matches, and because there's such a small amount of ELO total in all players, they're like shooting up really quickly.
Yep, there are a lot of people that were up in like the top 50 that certainly weren't supposed to be in the top 50. So
I can see that, and like
it'll get worked out.
I feel like it would be the same going down too. Is like you lose a couple matches to the wrong people, and you're just going to shoot right down. So, yeah, that makes me a little bit less upset about hitting all those, like, level 18 new kids that were, like, 2,000 plus, and just, like, not that I was tanking, like, getting my rank tanked or anything, because I didn't care about rank, but I was just like, I just want my pack.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
It'll balance out.
Yeah. Cool. So, from what I have read, it seems that we are getting a team event this weekend. What do you guys think about that?
I haven't really gave it too much thought. I haven't even read about it. I just saw a lot of people post about it on the Discord channels, but I haven't like put myself in it to actually know what it's about. Do you guys got an idea from Steve, or have there been any announcements about it?
There was something, I believe, there was Ubisoft posting today in the forums. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I seen a screenshot on one of the Discord chats that basically said that they couldn't push their hotfix out before the team event, and they're kind of disappointed about that, but they're not planning on canceling the team event. They're just not starting it till tomorrow.
Yeah, I actually saw that, but what the specifics are within the team events, I don't know yet.
Yeah, no, I don't know what the specifics are going to be either. It's kind of just a guess, but I think it's going to be everyone working to the same goal. So like how we have to unlock packs, I think you do that as a team.
Yep, I believe that's how it's going to be as well. So
okay, so it's a team effort.
Yeah. So you get 2 chances to unlock event packs. You can unlock your single event packs, and then you can unlock event packs as a team. But it'd be interesting to see what they're gonna choose for like qualifications for the event. Like, are you gonna have to play with certain cards, or are you gonna be opening up lockers?
Yeah, I am curious about that too. I think it would probably be lockers, but you know, I guess it's up in the air right now. We'll see tomorrow. Are they coming tomorrow? Is that what?
Yeah, well, I think they're still doing their dev stream tonight, and there might be an announcement on the stream. I don't know that for sure, so don't quote me there. But I believe the event starts tomorrow if everything goes as planned.
Good deal. Yeah.
But it sounds like a lot of fun, so I'm looking very forward to it. And
I know. I hope they push a new card out in this team event.
I would love that.
Yeah.
As long as it's a Mystic or Fantasy card.
So regarding new cards, Robo Baby, is she real or not? People keep posting it to me, pictures of her. But
so Robo Baby and Blood Elf Baby are both real unreleased cards. I believe they were data mined.
Yes.
So Robo Baby is an attack speed boost, whereas Blood Elf Baby heals off of kills. So
nice.
Should be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm kind of scared about Robo Baby. If she, eats a rat swarm, maybe, like, how fast is her attack speed gonna get? If it gets too fast, it'll just melt through anything. So
which themes are they going to be in?
Robo will be sci-fi and Blood Elf will be fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So that'll complete all 4 themes of Baby.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see if it's on a timer, like, if she melts something and then she gets like 3 seconds of attack speed buff.
Yeah, that would hopefully maybe balance it out a little better. But
yeah,
she does have really slow, or at least all the Bebes have very slow attack speed to start with. So hopefully it'll be controlled a little by that, and the increase won't be that impressive.
Well, it'd be cool if, like, if it's stacked. So, like, if you took
it'll stack. Believe me, it'll stack.
Well, no, but, like, not stack in that sense. But it would be cool if it's stacked in, like, so you take out a 4 rat swarm and you get 4 stacks of a 3-second buff. So you can have 12 seconds of the same speed buff. So it's not like you get faster. But, like,
yeah, that could be cool.
That would be interesting, and it would be kind of a way to keep her from just, like you say, steamrolling with, like, all these buffs that keep increasing.
Yeah, for sure.
Hyperdriver after she's taken out some rats.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, put astronaut butters in front of her, and then she just keeps getting it, and, like, it's just, that would be crazy.
Breaks the game.
It would be funny to see how fast you can get the attack speed up. So
I'm sure people will post videos about it.
Oh yeah. That's just what sci-fi needs. Is another thing to melt with.
Oh, like, they just have all the melt right now.
Hyperdrive, poison, AQR. It'll be pretty savage.
Yeah. Well, I assume that eventually the sci-fi nerf is gonna come.
I think it's next in line for it.
Yeah.
Even though I've been saying that Adventure would get one for the last, since I've been playing, I've been saying Adventure is going to get a nerf, and they just only seem to get buffs.
Yeah, no, so. I don't understand that, but I'm sure there's some sort of plan in how they want to go about it. They've got to have something.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so, like, team events, yeah, they'll be pretty cool. We'll see what we get. I'm hoping the packs aren't going to be as lackluster as some of the event packs we've had in the past couple of weeks. Because, like, the map pack wasn't too bad when you can get to the last one.
It was so hard to get that. Like, I didn't end up getting that.
Yeah, neither did I.
Grinding, but you only get, like, 20 to 30 maybe from a locker. Instead of, like, usually they'll give you, like, 40 sometimes, 50.
Yeah, those locker events are pretty difficult if you don't spend the money to grind out the packs. If you're not doing full locker lockouts every day with refreshes, it's hard to get them.
Yeah, if not, like, you have to, like, start it when they announce it on that Thursday and basically just grind every day if you're not, like, PvP refreshing or something like that.
Yep. Even if you do the full locker, like, I can imagine doing full lockouts for all 4 days. I believe it probably would still be pretty hard to get all of them.
That'll definitely be a question I'll be asking Lappy when I have Lappy on here. As a free-to-play player,
sure.
how hard is that to get those events done, right?
For sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we'll kind of see how those go. But we'll jump into the next one there, and we'll talk about the new phone system that kind of came along with the new legendary matchmaking.
I enjoy it very much. I think it's a great way to like illustrate that it's the name, hence the name Phone Destroyer. So yeah, it's got a good red line between, and yeah, I think it's great. You hate it? All right.
I absolutely hate it as a mystic player. I absolutely hate it.
How come?
My whole play style is get one bar and then defend. So I'm left with getting it's
Like
I've had a few
games.
of them that have taken me 5 wins. Yeah, 5 wins to get one. And then with improved matchmaking, it's that much harder to get multiple bars. So
yeah, because you have to go up against those like top 50 players that are playing some aggressive decks.
Yeah, it's definitely a stealth nerf, and I'll get into like my deck later, but yeah, it's nerf mystic. that's what it was. That's what it was. The stealth.
I think it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I like it, but it has its ups and downs for me. So like I used to be able to grind 3 wins in like 7 games on my hour lunch at work, and like now when I play for my hour lunch pack, I get like 1 win and 3 losses, and I end up with all 5 bars, and I'm like, oh cool, well I got 1 locker prize out of grinding that pack.
Yeah.
So that kind of hurts me because I enjoy getting my lockers, right? So
yeah, of course.
Sure.
But I don't know. What do you think about it, FilledWithLed?
I'm in the middle of the game, so I'm not focused.
Quit playing the game and focus on the stream.
I like it. I like it because I was in the middle of like 1,000 to 2,000, and sometimes I'll get top 500. I can usually get like 1 phone, but I can't ever get more than that a lot of the time. So that's nice when I lose. When I know I'm going to lose, I can still get a phone, but
yeah,
I haven't.
It's weird. I
did just have to play 5
problem.
wins to get my pack, so I kind of know the pain now.
I find a lot of players are being very aggressive with the pack earning system. So like even if you're like, if I push the first 2 bars, like I can still get 2 bars pushed back on me because like the players are so aggressive trying to get those bars just to open those packs, right?
Yep.
So it's definitely an aggressive and more aggressive system to the game, and like you said, it definitely hurts defensive playstyle because of how aggressive the playstyle has become.
For sure. I've seen a lot more Dougies and Marcuses and Big ALs in the top ranks lately, and I assume that that's because people want to get those bars.
Oh, for sure. And then like you FilledWithLed, you played a Barrel Dougie Freeze combo back in the day.
I used to play that, and then I played against it. After I stopped using it and got wrecked.
That's like technically viable. That would be a viable option to get a bar if you didn't think you could kind of get one.
Yeah. And that guy owned me. I couldn't stop him. It's like, I'm gonna put out a defender, but I know you're gonna freeze anyways, so like, I don't even know why I'm putting him down.
Yeah, that's a hard play to play against, for sure.
Has anyone here ever played against New Venon?
I can't say I have.
Okay, well this guy runs a super cheese deck, so he does Marvin, Barrel Dougie, Deckhand Butters, and let's see, Dwarf King Clyde and Pigeons, and then we'll use Cock Magic if it fails. Like it's just so cancerous to play against because no matter what you do, there's something that's just cheesing you out. It's terrible. He's the one that actually beat me recently because of the rogue bug. I went to drop the rogue and have him jump up, and have his hang time, and it was all timed out. It was going to take out his Dougie, no problem, take out the other things. and instead Rogue jumps up and instantly does the attack, and I'm like, oh my god, and Barrel Dougie just rolled in and took the bar, and I was just like, no.
That's such a cheesy deck. That's hilarious.
It's pretty crazy.
Rank 999.
Nice. If we were going into the Legendary Reset, you could have broke a new pack.
Well, except I would have got pushed within like 5 seconds of not playing.
Probably. I kind of got to like a point where it just didn't seem like everyone was like pushing anymore. I don't know if it was like that in all the ranks, but I feel like there was a point last night where it was just like I stopped moving when I wasn't playing.
It was pretty.
It was probably pretty intense in the top.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of movement in the top 10, top 20 range.
Yeah, I can see that.
People were really trying to get in the top 10. I know I'd given up trying to go for the top 10, but was fortunate enough to log in a little bit in the night just to do my pack, and ended up beating Boner Eyes, so that felt good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So where did you end up finishing?
I ended up finishing at rank 16, so it's I probably could have finished higher than that, but the week before I was doing a lot of dicking around, playing random just cheese decks and just fun stuff, so I had fallen to 45, and then the last like 2 days I kind of got serious about it and managed to get back to 16, which is one rank higher than I finished last season, so it's good enough for me.
Nice. No, absolutely. If you can finish on the positive from last season, that's a good point.
Yeah. A little sad about falling from 2 after the nerfs, but
yeah, you were right up there. Like I was watching some of your streams when you were like, top 5.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I got to top 2 with Sexy Nun Randy in the deck.
I know.
Pretty great.
Is that like maxed out level 4 yet?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be. RedWineMimsy, where did you finish?
I finished on. I actually don't remember because before they made the update, I think I was around 700, but when I logged in afterwards, I was like 850 or something like that. So I'm not too sure where I left on the season 2.
Yeah, I kind of had the same thing. Like when I went to bed last night, I was at like 1360, and I woke up this morning at 1550. But I feel like I attributed that to after it went live, like I didn't play right at the start after the maintenance. So like I feel like a lot of people fluctuated.
That definitely happened because I woke up and I was at 2,000, but I got the 1 to 2,000 pack.
Yeah.
But I was at 2070 when I woke up.
Yeah, so like that would make a lot of sense. So you probably finished closer into the 700s rather than the 800s.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Nice. And then
I think I was probably in the 18s, but I was at like 18 probably an hour before it reset, and then when I actually like woke up again after it had reset, it was like I was over 2,000, but had the 1 to 2,000 pack. So I think I was like 1824 was the last that I saw.
I guess we got Skella here says in the chat that you were 800 something before the reset, and he knows this because you're always so high up on the donation list, Mimsy.
Yeah, I actually have a total donation of around between 11 and 12,000 donations.
That is a lot.
Damn,
yeah, that is a lot. So I'm happy my thumbs doesn't have a mark from prison donation. So much. Yeah, but I don't know. A lot of people wrote me about write me just in general about the donations.
Danish generosity is what somebody's saying.
And no, it's not Danish generosity. It's like I'm really love the XP that I'm getting with it. So that's actually why I'm doing it. But recently I have changed some of my donation methods, so I don't donate cards that I'm currently using in my deck because Mimsy is so freaking hard to get to level 7, and I need to focus on getting in there. So until then, I can't really request any other cards. So I just need to save them up until he's ready, so I can just go continue with them all afterwards. So I'm not donating that much anymore, but until now I have been really active with it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You put in enough work, you can take some time off.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
You donated enough that you can take some time off.
Yeah, I think so. I think most people would agree with that. That I've earned my rights to get some good shut eye.
For sure, man. For sure.
Since we're talking about your Mimsy there.
Oh, don't get me started.
No, but how is it requesting for a level 7 card? Like, that must be a grind.
I'm requesting 3 times a day, every goddamn day, and I have done that for at least 2 or 2.5 months every day. I don't think I've missed one. Maybe I've missed one, but that has been if I was at a party or something like that. But I actually sometimes set my alarm to just remind me to do it because it takes so much time, and I'm still 28 or 29 days away from it, I think. So yeah, it's just grinding, and sometimes it's unmotivating, and sometimes it keeps motivating me. So, but anyone who has a level 7 card, I tip my hat off for you, because it is so goddamn hard to get a card to level 7.
I am pretty sure there's only one person with level 7.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, Slavius. That's rats.
That's the only picture of a level 7 I've seen, that's for sure.
How much damage are they doing? 60 something? 70 something?
Yeah, 60 something.
That's insane.
But one thing I did wrong is I was saving the mats for him, so when he was level 7, I could just boost him up. But I recently found out that you can't do that. That 7 is the top limit, the max limit. So yeah, I just have a lot of mats now that I can't really use to anything before he gets to level 7, and I can get some other neutrals up.
Oh,
kind of waste.
I didn't know that.
I think a little bit.
Yeah, if you look at Slavius's rats, it just says like a flat number. There's no slash. It just
True. So realistically,
just say 54.
Realistically, your like maxed out level 6 Mimsy is pretty much close enough to a level 7. Like,
yeah,
there's
it's
that
the
little
next,
difference.
The next step is the last step.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought you could max out a level 7.
No, unfortunately you can't. So they will go to my rats when I get them to level 5 someday.
Oh, well, that's going to be a good investment. That's what I have. Like, I think I have 178 syringes and over like 400 of the fossils just saved up, so that when I finally get these rats that I'm requesting to level 5, I'm just going to like get them maxed out level 5 right away, and then I can work on my Nelly.
Exactly. Good tactic.
But yeah, so I think there's just a couple more things to cover on season 2. But like, what do you guys think about that new player report system? I haven't really looked a whole lot into it, but it seems like you can pretty much report a player for. It seems like a lot. Like there's a lot of different options, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. I feel like I saw that you can report people for having inappropriate names, which kind of bothered me in a South Park game.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, so, like, speaking of inappropriate names, like, I think Twitch just banned the Nagger guy's Twitch account, and he had to change it to people who annoy you guy. Like,
even knowing it's a South Park game and it's straight from the South Park episode.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
So, like, does that mean that come the new report feature that people are just going to be like, oh, well, Nagger guy, that's offensive, I'm going to report that? Like, that's stupid.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little nervous about the report system. I'm worried that there are going to be inappropriate reporting.
But aren't you like you can only report people that is on your list? Ain't that right? Or can you just like search by their names and report them as well? I haven't looked into it, but is that something that's possible? That you can just search for a username and just report them if you just like if you're like a hater or something like that?
Wow, yeah, I don't know.
Is it?
I think it's like a type in feature.
Let's see. I'm gonna look at it right now.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, because I feel like it's like a type-in feature. Like, you know, if you just finish a match and you're like, oh, I know that guy's name, I'm just going to type this in and, like, get it. But that's a good point because, like, if it was just on your list, then it would be a useless feature, more or less.
Yeah, nobody wants to, like, report our own friends or teammates.
Yeah, like, why would I be reporting my teammate? Like, I could just, you know, probably speak to
Exactly.
them more or less in a chat. Like, I don't need to report them.
Do you guys know where the report function is?
I
Or is it
believe...
not out yet?
I don't think it's up yet.
I don't know. I don't know if it is up yet. I don't think so either.
All right. Then never mind. I won't look at it in game. But regardless, I'm just waiting for someone to report me for having a name Stalin. Bunch of hammer and sickles. Whatever.
Yeah, well,
Let 'em.
it's probably gonna come. Like, you can't really avoid it. I think there's definitely gonna be some like good features to that player report system. Like, there's gonna be times where you need to report players.
Yeah.
Looks like on my face that legend guy when he was just
That level 4 legendary
level
player.
4 legendary player.
Oh man,
The legend
I faced him
smiley face.
too. Yeah, legend smiley face. I
Fireball
saw that and
lightning,
I was
fireball
just no. I got him down. I almost beat him. I got him down to 54 health on his last bar.
Really?
So,
Really?
Yeah, I just think he would be the second hacker I beat. but
just
no,
all
no
his
luck.
cards are level 1.
Yeah.
Level 1
Yeah.
everything.
Did he make it to top 10?
I doubt he made it to the top 10, but he was like 1,000 something when he got me, and I just saw him and I was just like, no, not my rank.
I know
Not
that
my
it took them way too long to catch him. I know that. Like, he flew up the legendary ladder fast.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's kind of that feature. None of us really know much about it, but it's going to be an interesting function for sure. I guess
I'm not sure how necessary it'll be when we're server side. You know, you're not going to be reporting people for hacking because there isn't going to be any hacking, I believe. So, what do you think that people will be reporting for exactly at that point?
You fart emoji'd me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely going to be some emoji. Yeah.
I fucking love it when people write it on Discord. Or someone farted at me, or I'm so mad. It's just a game. It shouldn't get you so mad.
Yeah.
I'm usually the one to like.
I got pretty mad yesterday a couple times.
Yeah.
Like just trying to keep my rank.
I'm just
PC, bro.
I'm usually the guy that sends like good game at the beginning of the match. Like, even, you know, if I'm playing a teammate or if I'm not a teammate. If it's a teammate, you know, you always get that thumbs up that goes back and forth through pretty much everyone. But like, if they really played against me well, whether they beat me or if they didn't, I usually send a well played, because, like, you know what, if you played the game well, good for you, because, like, I played my game to the best of my ability, and you might have beat me or you might not have. But I don't mean it to be offensive when I do it.
For sure. I'm the same way with that sort of thing. There's a guy who, I think he's in the top 10 right now. He's at least top 20. Marcus, I believe his name was Anonymous Method last season, or season 1, I should say. And he is notorious for spamming laugh at you. He runs a cheese deck and just spams laugh at you, and it's so triggering. So I managed
It's
to
actually
beat him.
kind of funny.
I managed to
Think
beat
about
him
it.
like yesterday, and at the end I laughed at him, and he was just silent. And I was just jumping up and down, screaming. I was like,
Nice.
I would have loved to see that on stream.
Yeah, it would have been nice if I was streaming for that one.
I
Yeah.
love that feeling.
Oh, when you
When
can
someone
just,
just
like,
keep bashing you, and you get that one time when you just can laugh in their face for once.
that perfect underdog win.
Exactly. It's a Rocky story.
So I feel like that's a lot easier up in the top 1,000 and then in the top 500 for you guys, just because, like, I feel like you play a lot more of the same people now, and, like, where me and FilledWithLed are up in, like, the 1,500s, I feel like there's a lot more rotation of people pushing up and people dropping down quicker. So I feel like you guys get to have that rapport with the other players that you get to play against.
Yep, definitely. I know like I said, I played Slavius like probably upwards of 30 times, just in like 2 days. And then I've played Adorna multiple times, Manberpig multiple times. So I definitely see a lot of the same people.
Which can be good and bad, because I bet you can kind of build decks to counter some of the decks that you're seeing. So unless everyone's changing their play style often, which is very hard to do, if you can switch a card out to be a counter card, then you're actually laughing in a sense.
Yeah, to a point. I don't think anyone really tries to balance them out around the other players' cards per se. Just because when you're up here, it's so. The people that are up here are either just giant whales or have focused specifically on the cards in their deck. Like I have specifically focused all my resources into the cards in my deck. Not that I'm not a whale or anything, but it's really hard to change cards up, and then using a new play style can be really tricky when you kind of have to master your play style to hold your own against these people. So yeah, you can definitely you start learning everyone's deck is, I think, the cool thing, because once you know people's play styles and what they're running, you can kind of play, knowing what they're going to do. So it makes it really interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. Unfortunately, I don't really get that opportunity. I play some of the same people, but not enough, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we got one last feature to kind of cover for our topics right now, and that would be like the new kid clothing options. I think it's going to be a fast one to go over, but what's everyone's thoughts of, not having to wear hats or just not having to wear anything?
I kind of enjoy not having a hat on mine.
Yeah, I'm
made
running no hat.
a pretty boy, and no hats for life.
Yeah, so I was pretty thrilled because I tried to make my character look as close to Joseph Stalin as possible, and I just couldn't get that look with wearing a hat. So now that I can have that lovely hair just showing, it works out pretty well for me.
Well, like, that was a function in the game that I never understood, was that you could change your hair, but you had to wear a hat.
Yeah, exactly. No kidding.
Like, I was like, what?
And you had hairstyles that you could buy for Cartman coins, but why would you buy a hairstyle if you can't use it?
Yep, definitely.
Didn't make sense.
Exactly.
So overall,
you could wear the goggles.
Yeah, like, that was the best thing, like the sci-fi goggles. And even then, like, oddly enough, you can purchase like glasses as like an aesthetic to go on top, but you can't use them without wearing a hat.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
It's aesthetically pleasing, that's for sure.
It was a good change. It's something that people have been complaining about in the community for the inception of the game. So I know that was the first thing that I complained about when I started playing, was like, why the hell do I have to wear these hats? Exactly. Why am I stuck wearing a cowboy hat?
Yeah, because in the beginning of the game, that's basically all you have until you get that like pirate bandana.
Yep, and I was like, why am I stuck wearing a pirate bandana? I don't want any of these.
Let me ask you a question, guys. I actually, when I just started playing the game, when I went to the outfit room, I tried to pick the different outfits I had by clicking on them and not by dragging them onto my new kit. Did anyone else have the same issue first?
I did that at first. I definitely did that at first.
Pressing and was like, "What the hell? Why don't it change on my new kit?"
And then I dragged.
Yeah, I think I also did that. I remember like putting on a hat and then like trying to take it off and put it back on like the headpiece in the cabinet, and all it did was leave the hat on my character and put the hat back. So then there was two hats, and I was like, oh, what happened here?
Yep.
I made a clone, a copy hat.
I tried so hard. I like restarted, uninstalled my game. All I wanted to do was take off that hat.
Yeah.
Couldn't take off the hat.
I think that was a pretty big consensus overall in the community, is everyone just wanted to be actually able to, change their character to how they wanted it to look, and not how they were confined to have it to look.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I'm excited for there are a lot more clothing options that you can see in the what is it, avatar editor, or not the avatar editor, the outfits. there's a lot more outfits that you can see. So hopefully we'll be getting more of those in the near future, because I definitely enjoy getting all the different clothing options.
Yeah, and speaking of clothing options, has anyone else noticed that probably like midway through late season 2, basically all I started getting in my shops every day was a new clothing option.
You gotta buy every clothing option that you get in your shop, and that way they won't pop up there again, and you'll start getting more mats
I'll
and stuff.
never ever see them. It is
don't wanna
very
waste my
very
tickets.
rare when I see them.
Yeah, to address the chat, Skell is saying bet SDNW is going for the Thug Life hat, and he is absolutely correct. That is the hat I'm trying to get.
I feel like that's the most talked about hat in the game.
For
Exactly,
sure.
I wanted to. That's just Thug Life. That's just you gotta have that shit,
Oh,
and
for
you gotta
sure.
wear it. In that case, I wouldn't mind the hat.
Yeah, for sure.
I'd be
For sure.
interested to see how that hat comes into play. Like normally they've been using like events to release outfits, and then we have the outfits that are already there, but they've already stated that hat hasn't been officially released, so it's not in the shop cycle. So I'd be interested to see how that gets like released to the game.
I was hoping it would be a legendary reward for like top players would get it. I was hoping
Yes.
season 1 that it would be a top player like reward, but of
Yeah,
course no,
special
that
thing.
wasn't the case.
Yeah,
That wasn't the case.
that would definitely be cool if it like ended up in some sort of like tiered off reward system for legendary players, or even just for legendary players in general as like the seasons like progress. Maybe it could be something that they'll release.
Yeah. At the
but-
same time, I don't want it to be necessarily not available to everybody.
Yeah.
I would like exclusive outfits, but I know the Thug Life one is just too damn popular. Everyone wants it, so I'd hate to suggest that and have someone listen and cut people off. You know?
Yeah, no, it's probably going to be an event at some point that everyone has an opportunity to get.
Yeah.
I can see that. But yeah, why don't we jump into some deck discussion? I'm gonna pull up RedWineMimsy's deck into the screen here for everyone to see, and I'm gonna turn it over to him, and he can tell you all about his fantastic Mimsy deck that he runs.
As you can see, my Mimsy comes first. I got 2,070 of him. I actually got more right now. I got 2,100 or something like that. Everything I have in my deck is based around my Mimsy. So when you see Stan the Great, you'll see someone who can take off the pressure and the attack. When you see Carl, you'll see someone who can boost him. So everything is specifically designed for my Mimsy in this case. The only thing that is not in the same group as the others is Marcus. He's just there to make sure that I'll get the phones down, because he has like 81 damage with his throw. So it's a good way to finish the job if Mimsy can't get through all of the rats and assassins who's he's been dealing with. So yeah. I got Sharon as well, because I love to heal my Mimsy, and I love to heal my new kids. It's a great way to stay alive and healthy. Keeps the doctor away and keeps the death away. Bartos to have some invincibility on him, and so on. Fireballs, arrow storms. It's currently for like the pigeons or rats or something that comes in packs. Fireballs, it's usually for the level 4s that Mimsy is facing, because that will just clear everybody out. If I meet level 5s, currently my fireball is not enough to kill them, but a fireball and an arrow storm should do the job as well. And then my Mimsy can just keep bashing on with his 91 damage that he has currently. Cog magic, I use cog magic, and it's something that I might change in the future, but it is so great to just get all the sins away with cog magic. I can transform 3 currently at a time, so sins gotta go with cog magic. That's the only way, because if you play a Mimsy and someone has a sin and you don't have anything for the sin, you're screwed, you can just give up right away because you'll get nowhere. Everyone would just fuck your Mimsy up while he's just attacking a Zen. Which leads me to a bug that I have seen very very lot. It's Zen. When he uses his ability to attract enemies, Mimsy won't stop attacking even though the ability is gone. So he will just keep attacking Cartman Zen until he's dead, and that's kind of fucking annoying. I actually been writing to Steve and some of the guys to let them know that that's a great issue for people who's playing with a tank in general.
Yeah, no.
So
I could see that. Like, that would be a huge bug deficiency because you're playing with a headhunter and you want to push that headhunter forward as fast as possible.
Yep, it works. It works on most of the headhunters I've had. I think Dougie is the only one I've had break away from Zen after being taunted. I think maybe Marvin too, but yeah, Mimsy will just go and just start bashing him and won't stop, and it works for me. But I understand that it's a bug. Zen is a pretty bugged character.
Yeah, I can
right
understand
now.
that people that plays with Cartman Zen is enjoying again, and I really enjoy the moments when people use the laugh emoji after they know that they only won because of that.
Oh yeah, no, that's terrible.
It's just like, you
would never
piece
do
of
that.
shit. I'll fuck you up anytime, anywhere, man. I'll excuse me, but it gets me so mad. I'm like, no, it's not like in personal. I'm gonna fuck you up. It's like in the game. It's like you only won because of that bug. So don't get cheesy on me right now. Don't be a smart ass. You know this. You know that my Mimsy would have crossed you if it wasn't because of this fucking stupid ass Sin and that stupid ass bug. I'm sorry for the language, but it just fucking annoys me, man.
No worries about getting heated about it. No worries about the language. Most of my streams, I end up getting mad at the game and while I'm playing it, and I end up swearing at the game anyways on stream. So YouTube hasn't approached me yet, so I think we're in a good spot.
I'm glad. Sorry.
Sorry
for the rant, but I see red sometimes. Hence the name RedWineMimsy.
That is a really good thing to bring up, and hopefully the people that are watching this will be able to help bring it forward.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a question for your deck though. How do you like your level 4 Sharon?
She heals 100 currently. And my Mimsy has like 26 health points, so it's a great way to keep him alive. But I usually just use her on my new kit because 100 is just like a third part of the health, from each point of the phone, of course.
That's one thing she's very good for, is healing.
I like her, and she got like 57 damage, I think. It's not the greatest, but yeah, I'm working on getting her as well leveled up. All of my cards on my deck is ready to be leveled up. They just need the cards, so I'm just waiting for my Mimsy to get the boost, and when he's done, I'm gonna just slowly start on everyone else, and I should be.
That's really interesting. Like I personally run adventure as one of my themes, and I was actually thinking about building a Mystic adventure deck, and I want to know if that would actually be a viable option.
I have joked about it. I actually joked about it in Elders chat earlier today. Because LaFour's got 15 medicine woman Sharons, and I was like, well, it's time to do a Mystic adventure and do a full healer comp. I'm not sure how viable it is, because one of the benefits of doing the tank comp with Mystic is using fantasy with it, so you can get Stan the Great and Princess Kenny and Paladin Butters, which all work very synergistically. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, having Sharon there pumping out all the extra healing, you could potentially run 2 tanks and maybe Hallelujah and Regen, and just have this unkillable wall in front of you.
Well, and you could even
that could be fun.
You could even probably try and put Pirate Butters in.
You could,
Deckhand.
Yep.
Deckhand. Yeah, that's
Deckhand Butters.
Deckhand Butters. That's the one who's given the health point boost, isn't it?
Yeah, and he actually heals for
that would almost be pretty good.
a bit.
That'd be pretty good for he gives like
Actually,
400,
think-
500 something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
but
might-
I only got him like on level 1 or 2. I don't play.
But like once you finish your Mimsy and you start building your deck up and have that option to
Yeah,
build
you can
other
just-
cards around it, you might even have the ability to pump that card up at one point and try it out.
I was actually going to suggest that if you had a different ranged character, you could use Deckhand Butters with your Mimsy and get some pretty beastly heals off on him.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. Maybe I should try to look into that. I actually don't know what level he is currently. I just think he's about around 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You probably have a shit ton of cards though, because I get Deckhand Butters almost
Yeah,
in
I have
every
like
pack.
100.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah,
even
exactly, yes.
even at a low level, his heal will still be a couple hundred. It almost might even be.
Oh, is it?
And he could be a character that you just put out to die.
Yeah, just like. 'cause
Yeah,
I-
that's
what he's
actually
there
what
for.
that's actually what's Paladin Butters. He's just there to die. He's
Yeah.
not there to harm anyone.
Yeah.
He's just there to protect.
Yeah, if he does
them.
damage, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
Exactly. If it does damage, I'll take it. I'm not gonna cry myself tonight when I sleep. I'm not gonna lose any sleep on it, so I'll gladly take it. But he's just there for the protection for Kenny or Mimsy.
Makes sense. I'm gonna open it up to the chat just for 5 minutes here or something, and see if we can get any questions about your RedWineMimsy deck, and see if anyone's got anything that they would like to ask you.
Yeah, of course. Shoot.
And we'll see about that. If not, we'll keep moving on, but we'll give it some time. I've got like
Give me one sec. I'm gonna go get some coffee. I'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah, of course.
I think I've got like 80 Medicine Woman Sharon at level 1 right now, so like I could probably pump her up to level 4 if I had the mats for her. What's her attack for Sharon?
Her currently attack is at 57, I think.
That's not terrible.
It's okay. I'll take it.
Looks like Skella here wants to know why you run Dwarf King Clyde over Hookhand Clyde.
Usually because of the Cardman Sin, to be honest.
Yeah.
He does a great boost damage. And sometimes when Cardman Sin has this bug where Mimsy won't stop hitting him, Clyde he'll be a good option to make sure that he'll die a little bit quicker. And I use him also if someone uses Standard Grade. He's also a great help to kill Standard Grade before he can take the 91 damage off my Mimsy.
Dwarf King Clyde is really good for getting a fighter up there to the front line too.
But you can but you can be sure where he'll actually throw his whatever it is.
His parry.
So, but in this case, I'll make sure that I'll hit the target. I'm after. I'll just place him within a fair reach to his opponent to make sure that he'll kill when he strikes.
That makes sense. Did you find any of the glitches had effect on you with Dwarf King Clyde?
No, not. It's not.
You lucky bastard.
Not what I can think of. No.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were talking about the fact that he wasn't doing any damage on his Warcry.
His Dwarf Clyde, he does his damage. If you ask me, he's always been done that. He's doing that.
God, you're lucky.
Only for red wine.
Yeah,
only for me. But that may be because my phone is has this bug in its signal that it maybe sometimes it thinks I'm in Denmark, sometimes my phone thinks I'm in Japan, sometimes it thinks I'm in Sweden. It can really figure it out. So I'm just
I'm glad you brought that up because like probably about a week ago I played against you and we had a really awesome match that we played each other. I think was it on stream? I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
But yeah, no, like, and then when I was talking to you about coming on the show today, you were kind of like, oh, like, well, my time zone is 5 hours ahead, and I was like, well, how did we play on North America? Like, did you VPN? And you were like, no, like my phone, like it's on a weird network. And I'm like, that's the coolest like thing to just, sometimes play on one server and sometimes play on another. You don't know where you're gonna be.
It's actually all depending on my Wi-Fi connection. If I'm on Wi-Fi, it'll think I'm in Scandinavia. If I'm not using the Wi-Fi, like now, it thinks I'm somewhere in England or Japan or something like that. It's various. It's kind of fun, but yeah, it's because of the phone company that I pay my bills to every month. They got like headquarters in different countries, so somehow I got tangled up in there, and but I don't complain. It's a lot of fun to meet a lot of different opponents each day. So
that's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, right? Like, if I'm just like at work playing on my lunch on my data, I would love to just like hop over to EU and just be like, oh hey, look who I'm playing. Like,
yeah, it's kind of funny.
Season 1, I was stuck in EU for no apparent reason. So
I remember that.
Pretty cool.
I remember when you were
pretty happy about that.
Bringing that up.
I got to stream snipe average guy. That felt pretty good.
That's cool. I'm sure he enjoyed it. I got one more question here from the chat that I'm going to ask. Well, I'll ask two, but Callie here says, why do you have such a sexy new kid?
Yeah, because I'm actually a Persian. I'm originally from Iran, so I just thought we got style in Iran. We like white things, white cars, white houses, white beaches, white women for that case. So yeah, I just thought let's go with something white with a nice little butterfly on it, and with some nice shades, and just make his eyebrows a little cocky, and like he get the ladies on the streets. Don't get it twisted, guys. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's why he's so sexy. And yes, Callie, I'll make sure, I'm sure that he will go out with yours someday.
Okay, so and the last one here is, have you considered using sci-fi and just poison everything around your Mimsy?
No, I haven't. And it actually is because I just love the deck that I'm playing right now. I'm having a really hard time changing anything. It's a hard progress, but like the deckhand model's suggestion and the hook hand suggestion, I will look into it. But my focus currently is just get Mimsy up to level 7. Anything else besides that is just thin air for me.
Fair enough.
So right now, no considerations, but in the future, I'll make sure to modify my deck so it'll protect them in the best way, of course.
But yeah, because the more you play, the more you're going to get this deck up to like a capped limit, and then you can kind of spread out your resources onto other themes if you want to. Exactly. All right, well, I'm going to move on now to SDNW's deck, which I've just put up on screen here now. And I'm going to hand it over to him, and he can tell you a little bit about his deck.
Cool, yeah. So this deck is my Ultra Instinct deck. If you know me, I name all my decks because I like to have fun like that, right? So I call it my Ultra Instinct deck because it starts out super, super defensively and then goes into a full-on offense. The whole playstyle of this deck, like I said, is you start out trying to build up behind Zen and get an energy advantage. So usually you'll get a good rogue token play, and then from there you send in the rats or the assassins and follow up with an Unholy Combustion and a Dwarf King Clyde. And I can't tell you how many times I've sent my rats in. They've just about got to tower. You see rogue token popping or Nelly, and you just Unholy Combust instantly, and there's nothing they can do to react in time. So I was trying to find a way to modify the Mystic Fantasy playstyle to be better in light of the nerfs, because you can't really just deathball as much anymore. It's just not as feasible with the 2-cost Purify and depleted range and 2-cost Power Bind, and same with the range on that. So you definitely need to have a little bit more of an offensive capability to be able to pull off Mystic Fantasy at this point. Actually, especially with Purify being nerfed, you can't really defeat Sci-Fi otherwise. They'll just drop an Alien Queen Red on you and get like 20 energy off of it, so it's a little bit much. But yeah, that's pretty much the play style for my deck is cheesing out a bar and then going back to defending. So I've definitely beaten... I don't think there's anyone in NA, in top NA, that I haven't beaten with this deck. But like I said, it's always down to cheesing out a bar because there's no way I can beat anyone in the top like 20 without doing some sort of cheese. Yeah, definitely Dwarf King Clyde Rush and following up with an Unholy Combustion right after is that's GG, or it's a bar at least. You're not defending against it. So like I had a match against Adorna recently, and I played defensively at the start, and when he finally dropped his Alien Queen Red, I knew he was a low G, and so I sent in Dwarf King Clyde, and I think it was maybe Friar Jimmy up there walking, and he was just barely staying alive through the Alien Queen Red poison. But as soon as he played something, I think it was an Enforcer Jimmy, so it was even a 2-cost. As soon as he played that 2-cost, I just Unholy Combustioned him right away, exploded him, and managed to take the bar. So that's the way to go. Let's see, I've got a question from Skella. Have you tried Prophet Dougie with Paladin? And no, I have not tried Prophet Dougie yet. I have wanted to, but I don't have him to 5. I just don't think he'll be viable enough at this level at 4. So he's been considered. I'm definitely considering it, especially with the Unholy Combustion, because they're gonna go and drop, Princess Kenny or Paladin Butters or whatever assassin, they're gonna drop an assassin, and I really enjoy exploding 2-cost cards. So
yeah.
Biogenesis says he's been playing this deck and having a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. It's the most fun I've had playing Mystic Fantasy, I think.
Yeah,
since I've been playing it.
I can see that. I'm not a big fantasy player myself. I haven't really invested into that theme, but whenever I go up against it, it's a hard counter for my deck, pretty much. Like, once they get the damage...
Fantasy really has a lot of good cards.
Yeah, once they get that, damage debuff onto me, I have a real hard time working against that with an Adventure Sci-Fi. I got my poisons, but I still have a hard time playing against those pushes.
Yeah, for sure. Sci-Fi is the biggest counter to this deck right now, I think, because I can deal with Adventure all right, with Rogue to take care of the Assassin spam, and Unholy Combustion to remove Stand of Many Moons. Because if you let Stand of Many Moons go with Mystic, there's nothing you can do. Your backline will get destroyed, and that'll be that. And then you'll just have a Zen sitting out there waiting to die. So I got to remove Many Moons right away. But with Poison, it's just so hard to counter. So hard to counter.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I find a lot of people talk about Many Moons in terms of negative trades, but I think as long as you can keep tempo, that negative trade is totally worth it.
Yeah. I have no problem making negative trades if they get me a bar. So you'll see me Dwarf King Clyde 2-cost cards. You'll see me Unholy Combustion 2-cost cards. As long as I can get a bar out of it, I know that I can fall back to Zen and Rogue defense. And there's not much that can really, get through that. So especially when you have Angel healing up in the back, it's a very strong defense. I just needed the offensive capability to make Mystic Fantasy work, and I found that in Dwarf King Clyde and Unholy Combustion. Nice. However, Dwarf King Clyde is incredibly bugged right now. Incredibly bugged. And something I want to say 9 times out of 10, he is not doing his damage appropriately, or the enemy will rubber band back to life. I just had a match earlier where I Dwarf King Clyde Nelly, and she died and just rubber banded back to life at full health. I was just like, what the hell? What the hell? How do I deal with this?
Yeah, that's so shitty. Apparently, if your name's RedWineMimsy, then it's not a big deal, but for everyone else, it's a lot worse.
Yeah, everyone I've ever talked to has had problems with it, and I'm
having a great time.
And there's RedWineMimsy just
just
having a good old time.
Yeah, just enjoying life, playing his
Full
cards the way they're
potential.
intended.
There's RedWineMimsy just being a piece of shit for himself.
Yep, exactly.
Just being cheesy.
A Biogenesis here says that he's been enjoying playing Dark Mage Craig over Terrence now that he has him to level 4. You want to talk a little bit about Dark Mage Craig over Terrence, because it kind of seems like a lot of the meta has shifted that way. I still see a lot of Terrence, but I'm seeing more and more Dark Mage Craig.
Yeah, so Dark Mage Craig is good to keep the cost down. The original reason why I put him in my deck is I put Unholy Combustion and Dark Mage Craig in the deck first, and that was solely to throw shit at people and to blow them up. Just blow shit up with Unholy Combustion because I was so upset about the nerfs. But I keep saying Dwarf King Clyde, but Dark Mage Craig works, like I say, it's 3 cost. He does more damage than Mephisto. You don't get the flying aspect, and you don't get the instant attack animation like you would to counter rats, which is kind of a downside. But he is quite helpful when I do the Unholy Combustion Dwarf King Clyde rush. I can go and cut some of the damage down from the New Kid Tower if some of my assassins won't live or something like that. It's quite helpful. But I think the reason that most people play him is for his 3 cost and his slightly better damage. He's a little less tanky than Mephisto, and obviously Mephisto is flying too, which can be a real pain in the butt to deal with. But he works out really well, so I definitely like him a lot.
Nice, yeah, no, I think it's a great card. I've just started seeing it more and more. Skell here says he's played Dark Mage Craig since September, so I'm sure it's a very strong card for him.
He was a pioneer. He was the pioneer of him.
He shifted the meta.
Yep, totally.
So yeah, I think we'll open it back up to the chat just like we did with RedWineMimsy, and we'll see if anyone has some questions about your deck. I don't know if you said it earlier, I just had to step away for a second, but I'm just wondering why you don't have your level 4 Randy in your deck anymore.
Well, I actually play a lot of different decks. This is just the one that I finished off the season with to get serious. So my Randy deck is my So Sexy Hallelujah deck, and it revolves around Sexy Nun Randy and Hallelujah, obviously. And that's just a really fun deck to use. Randy's kind of been my thing since I did the Mr. Hanky Christmas special video, and just had a lot of fun with him. He's just a fun card to play. He's certainly not optimal by any means, but like I said, I managed to get to rank 2 during the 24-hour stream playing him, and that felt pretty good, and that kind of solidified me as the Sexy Nun Randy guy, I guess.
Nice. Well, it's a good title to have. I remember, I remember like turning it on the stream before I had to go to work that day. I had to work that Sunday, I think, and I turned it on in the morning, and you were like rank 2, and I was just like, oh my god, like he's playing a 24-hour stream. That's insane. But yeah, if you guys, just to kind of plug you there, SDNW, if you guys haven't already seen it, go check out the Mr. Hanky's Christmas special video, because I actually think that's one of the better videos that you've posted. I love like the editing that you've done in that video.
It's a pretty funny one for sure.
Yeah, like I think that's the one where one of the assassins is like racing to the new kid, and it has like the football line where it's like, he could go all the way. Yep. Like I really like that part. I think that was great.
Yep, it's a pretty funny video for sure. I had a lot I would have liked to have made another Sexy Nun Randy one, because I think he was the card during the Cupid event, but the Cupid event I just kind of rolled over everybody, because at that point I don't know, you didn't have to play crappy cards.
Yeah.
And the only card I added was Sexy Nun Randy, so I just kind of rolled over everyone still, and there wasn't any really good footage for me to use, unfortunately. So
fair enough, that makes a lot of sense. How long did it take you to edit that video? I know we've talked before about some of your editing process taking upwards of like 20, 30, 40 hours. I was just curious about that one.
Yeah, it took me longer to edit the video than it did to complete the event. So I want to say it probably took between like 10 and 15 hours. But the NAMBLA congratulations video, took upwards of 48 hours, I want to say. it took a lot of effort and time to do that one. So, but that was a really fun one to work on.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I really love the work though with You Can Edit, because I cannot edit for the fucking life of me, so I don't really post a lot of videos. I just do my own streams. So like the fact that you spent that time to edit those videos, that amount of time to make them that like perfect crisp video, like I'm really jealous about that and really envious.
I definitely work on quality over quantity, so you won't see me put out a ton of videos, but you can usually rest assured that if I'm putting out a video, it'll have top-notch editing in it, and because I really enjoy putting a lot of effort into those things. I have a degree in that sort of thing, and I've had a job doing that for a little bit, so it's something I enjoy doing and I'm pretty proficient at. So like I said, you'll always see me do a lot of editing. I've actually had a lot of videos that I've started working on, and I just wasn't able to finish them because I don't like how they turn out. I'm a little bit too much of an artist in that
a little bit OCD in that sense.
Yes, I will straight up delete upwards of like 10 hours worth of work if it's not going well. I'll just be like, nope, I'm done. Lappy Lazuli is asking, how's DK and is DK and UC good together? And that is a good question. That is the way the deck is based off of. I think they work really well together. If you can manage to save up the energy to use both, it can be really, really powerful. But I like to use Unholy Combustion when I send in rats or assassins and then blow them up right in front of bar, or right in front of the new kid, and cheese out a bar. So kind of what the build is going for. And Christina Rhodes asked, what rank do you usually sit around? And yeah, usually top 10, top 20 is where I sit. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I think we'll kind of wrap that one up, and I'll bring FilledWithLed's deck back because I don't think there's any more questions from the chat. If there is, we can come back and answer them, but I'll just pop FilledWithLed's deck up here, and if you want to kind of run us through your deck.
I don't know, my deck's pretty typical, I think, for a sci-fi fantasy deck. I've run into a lot of people playing the same sort of deck almost. The only difference will be somebody won't have gnomes, or somebody will have Paladin instead of Astro, or maybe have Paladin and Astro, which I've actually played, which is kind of fun. I don't know. It's more of a It's not very cheesy. I kind of just see what they play first and then play off that. Unless I end up getting one of those situations where neither of you will play a card for 20 seconds, and then I'm just like, fine, I'll play a card. Usually just throw a 2 cost out just to like sacrifice it, see what they do. But yeah, I'll usually sort of work on one side of the field sort of thing, usually in front of either Mephisto or Timmy, and then when they put too many resources on one side or use too much mana, I'll either poison Alien Queen Red, and I'll usually put a counter on the opposite side of the field. So I'll throw rats on the other side, and that gets me a bar a lot of the time, is just putting rats once I see them drop down a few cards. Just put rats on the other side, and what are they going to do? But yeah, I'm not top tier. Kenny, a lot of the matches I lose are just because of underlevels. So Princess Kenny will be level 5 today, and then we'll see if I can push up. Because right now I'm technically on top 1,000, but I don't know if that's actually where I should be. It's just where my elo has taken me today. Considering I was 1,800 to 2,000 at reset, I don't think I should be top 1,000 yet necessarily, but...
Just to kind of touch on that, anyone that's watching that is feeling like they're on the cusp and they just can't break into that next tier of legendary, just getting one card up a level difference makes all the world.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah, like when that Princess Kenny becomes a level 5, it's gonna be so much better.
22 more damage. Like, it's not gonna lose instantly to every level 5 assassin, which I don't hate sometimes because I want them to debuff, but. He's good. But yeah, the Astro Princess Kenny is a combo that I was using even before the Hyperdrive bug. Just throw them both on one side of the map, let them run up the edge, and take out Astro.
Definitely does a lot of damage with that.
Yeah. Astro and anything. Like I know a lot of people that play a lot of really good decks run like the Astro Assassin combo for sure. But you have a lot of critters in your deck.
Yeah, the gnomes, I do like them. They're really good for just taking out assassins. Actually, because usually I'll only lose one gnome, maybe two, depending on where I counter them. Because they're only 30 out of 40, but so they're only doing like 30 damage. But usually if all three of them hit the first time, that's 90, and then two the second time, that's 150, and that's most level 5s. So they're good for that. But yeah, there's a lot of critters. I run into issues. Nelly is an issue when I play against people who use Nelly. I kind of have to tiptoe around her somehow. Because I can't use the Timmy shot, and I can't use my rats, and I can't use the gnomes.
Yeah,
yep, I definitely use DK to take care of Nelly.
Yeah, so I'll usually
Nelly is a big pain.
She's a pain in my ass. So I'll usually just try and sometimes what I like to do is I like to debuff her and then throw rats at her, watch her hit them away. And then my rats are kind of half on his side of the field going towards his new kid, and half on my side of the field going back towards Nelly.
I've definitely cheesed out some bars with some rats hiding back.
Yeah.
If it works, like it's a good strategy, right?
So the only decks I really run into issues with are higher levels. If a good Mystic player can give me issues if they actually know what they're doing, but if people start and they instantly put down their Zen and their Wendy and their Friar, it's like you should have waited, because I'm just gonna put down my Alien Queen and you're gonna lose at least 2 or 3. Like,
yeah, it's all about waiting for that slow mana to return sometimes, right? Like, and then you're gonna play the Zen ability behind the new kid, and like as long as you pace yourself with that kind of deck, and I'm sure SDNW could tell you that he knows that. So.
Yep.
Yeah,
how much damage does she have?
For me right now, she's only at 33, I think. 33, yeah, 33, and that's it. She doesn't get the other 7 until she gets to 30, last level 4 upgrade.
Yeah, and then going into...
Is that the poison damage, or is that the attack damage?
Oh, her attack damage is 72, I think.
And I think her health sits around like 3.
Her health is like 360, I think.
Yeah.
So she doesn't survive that long. She's more like you toss her out there in the back, and then she might, if there's enough space between her and the people that are coming up, she will take out a couple people because they'll be, half or a third health, and she gets one hit, and then they're gone.
She's certainly a spell with a body attached.
Yeah, I play Alien Queen Red myself, and like I know that she scales really well from level 4 to level 5. Like once you get that 40 damage poison going into level 5, and then you can even bring it up to that 43, and then possibly there's a 50 at the end. But she becomes tankier too. Like I think at the end of a level 5, it's closer to upwards of like 480 like health and like over 100 damage. So like if you think about that 50 poison damage you're hitting with everyone with that spell, and then you've still got that like 450 damage body. I know it's a high level card at that point, but it does scale well into the next level.
She's my baby. Fighting Serpent's got her up to, I think he's got her up to 5 now, and she just looks real sexy.
Yeah.
I can't get her though.
I think she's a staple sci-fi card now. She wasn't when I first started playing sci-fi, like back in World War Release. A lot of people kept her out because of her high cost, but like once you realize that she's the spell as well as the body, it's totally worth it. And like you'll see in my deck afterwards, like I don't even play poison because like realistically you have her. So as long as you
poison's
can like
more of like a if I don't want to sacrifice any body, if I know I can just poison them and then just leave it and not. And put out a body. And just watch
the reason she wasn't run originally was because Purify had the full
map.
The full map range, and was 1 cost, and then even when Purify got nerfed down to a smaller cost or a smaller range, it was still able to really negate a lot of the problems that Alien Queen Red gave. and then you'd just be left wasting 5 energy basically.
Yeah, because you would play Alien Queen Red, and you would hit like maybe 5 units where 3 are grouped together and 2 are spread out, and they just purify the 3 right away. And you've still taken out like the other 2 units if you're lucky in that sense.
But the mana gain isn't really.
Yeah, you've lost in the trade realistically.
Yep, definitely. Now she has no counter basically, so now she's everywhere.
Now she just runs wild.
Yeah.
Reigns supreme.
She is the queen.
While we're talking though, if anyone wants to ask FilledWithLed any questions about his deck, do so in the chat, and we'll get to those. I'm interested to see, you just got your Terrence Mephisto up.
Yeah.
How you liking that?
He's cool. I don't know.
Does he fit in this deck?
He does fit. It's just I don't really need him for critter control.
Yeah.
I have other stuff for critter control and assassins. I usually use him more as like a back end of the push. I'll slide him at the backside. Probably if Timmy's still going, I'll put him on the opposite side of the field and just let them both go from the edges. But I've been thinking about taking him out for a few different things. I like and I've been talking to you about this, like the idea of putting in Marine Craig just for like the new kid damage. But I like the flying aspect of Mephisto is the reason to play him, because it's hard for a lot of people to deal with that.
And he's a really good counter for another Mephisto.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like using him for that too. Especially once he comes towards your new kid, you throw in the Mephisto, and it's like, okay, now I get 20-50.
Yeah. Would you consider changing Mephisto for Nelly or Barbrady, Marine Craig, or Big Gay Al?
Yeah, Marine Craig is my main thought, because I have had a lot of issues. Well, not a lot, but there's been a few games where it's like I have them down, their bar down to 30, 40, 50 damage, but I can't get another push to get anything off. Marine Craig would take care of that. Nelly is somewhat of a lost cause for me at this point in my deck, because she's only level 2. If she wasn't level 2, I'd definitely consider putting her in my deck, but it's gonna take forever to get her up. Big Al, it's the same resource issue.
Barbrady's probably too.
Yeah, exactly. They're all. But yeah, I've been a tank. I've been thinking sometimes that a tank might be a good idea for this deck, just because there's times where I'll push a bar, but I can't necessarily hold the bar.
Fries fan 7844 said, "Would you get that imposter Timmy out of your deck and put the real MVP mecha in?" And I know you have one.
I have a level 2 mecha. I don't know. He's too baity. Everybody just bolts him or DKs him or unholy combustions him. I find nobody really cares that much about Timmy Catapult. Like, they do, but they don't. He's not as people don't panic about him. But I have used him. The main reason I like Cat is he's only 3 instead of 4. Mm-hmm. So it's and he does 10 more damage, 15 more damage at this point. Or maybe it's only 6. I think it's only 6.
I don't have Mecha to me, so
he does 75 and Mecha only does like 69 or something.
That makes sense.
At where I'm at. But I do like Mecha. Don't get me wrong. If you can get Mecha defended and then have anything in front of him.
Yeah.
To debuff, I've had. That's when who did I play? It was he's in our clan. He's really Gutterham, something like that.
Guttingham.
Yeah, I played him and he only took 1 bar off me because that was when I was still using Mecha. It was literally like, I mean, I couldn't push him, but he literally couldn't push me at all until we went all the way through to overtime. He took 1 bar from me.
Do you have your phone? A Biogenesis would like to know the stats of Underpants Gnomes versus Rats.
My Gnomes aren't maxed 4, but even I think they're at 30 out of 40. It's 31-30 for attack health.
Okay.
My Rats are 46-40. My Rats are 47 health, 44 attack, 53 out of 55.
So they're a little bit weaker then. So we're looking at
Underpants are 31-30 at 29 out of 40.
Yeah, Gnomes are not a good alternative to Rats.
No,
in that they're not offensive. They're much better defensive cards.
They're like why somebody throws a Sally one side of the field or an Ike one side of the field, I'll just drop them in front. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, if we have more questions, we can always come back to those questions. I'll throw my deck up and we'll talk about that. So I run a sci-fi adventure deck, and it's got a lot of 2-cost spam, which makes for a fun, aggressive deck to play. I've been playing with my deck a little bit more here in like the end of the last season here, but I haven't really changed it as much. When the hyperdrive glitch first started, I tried to play that like 2 games. I put it in for Alien Queen Red, and I just realized it wasn't gonna work. Like I only had it with the rats, so like there was no point in spamming that. Whereas for my deck, Alien Queen Red is like basically my last line of defense. Like when they put a big push against all my 2s and they start dropping off, I can drop that Alien Queen Red. And I think she's 36 out of 40 right now, so she's pretty close to being maxed out. So once she gets that extra 7 damage, that 40 damage per second is just going to melt people away. But yeah, like most of my deck is just a lot of push. So I can play my 2 assassins, Butters and Sally, and I can play them with Gunslinger Kyle in the back and just charge up his ability, and then they both get a plus 100. So depending on who's coming at me, if it's a Zen or if it's another tank, if I'm going straight to the new kid, like that extra damage is going to get me where I want it. And then I also have my 2-cost Calamity Heidi, which, you know, level 5 card, everyone pretty much has that, and my 2-cost Jimmy, who's level 4 and he's halfway through max, so that's a good card too. The one card I'm not too happy about within this deck is Sheriff Cartman, and that's mainly because it's under leveled. It's down at the beginning of level 4, so it doesn't really compare to the rest of my cards, which are pretty much level 5 commons and like mostly through level 5 rares. Like Nellie's maxed out, Captain Wendy's 4 upgrades away from maxed out, Enforcer's 6, Alien Queen Red's 4, and then Lightning Bolt. After I took this screenshot, I believe, I just got like 13 more in my PvP reset pack, so like that card's gonna be level 4 soon as well. And I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I think the rats, when they get to level 5, is going to be a big improvement on it.
They're a big game changer when you have rats level 5.
Definitely a big game changer, being able to counter.
Well, like my biggest problem with rats level 4 is when I play up against rats level 5, I know I'm not going to win. Like that's a losing trade every time I play it. So.
Yep.
Unfortunately for me, that's kind of the route I took, and I was just donating a lot of rats because like everyone there was like a time on NAMBLETS where just everyone was requesting rats, and it just was like the wells ran dry really quickly, and then we had an order played out so who was going to get it, and I was pretty high up on the order because I was going for my level 4s, and I was requesting, and we still weren't getting filled, so I just kind of bowed out and made the decision I'm just going to donate my rats. And then recently, as I've realized like all my other commons are getting to level 5, my Heidi, my Clyde, my Sally, soon to be Butters, and soon to be Kyle, because I've just been collecting those cards, rats are going to drop off. They're going to be this level 4 card in my deck that doesn't compete with all the level 5 cards that I'm playing with in the ranks that I'm at. So I kind of pushed forward, and I reached out to the team leader, and I was like, hey, like, this is how it happened. Unfortunately, you know, my requests weren't getting filled, so I had to, like, become a donator, but I want to get back in before all these people start requesting their level 6 rats, and then I'm on a waiting list that I'll never get them in. And so it's pretty close now. I'm only a few more days away from getting those rats to level 5, so I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, they will definitely be a big. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But again, my deck's pretty self-explanatory. I gotta call out my girl, Captain Wendy. If anyone doesn't like Captain Wendy or doesn't play Captain Wendy, that's a great card to invest in if you're an adventure player. Mine's at level 4. It's almost at level 5, and she does like 120 damage to 3 people. But the biggest quality about Captain Wendy that I always try and preach that no one ever really like thinks about is Wendy actually hits the new kid. And that's the best thing for like chunking 120 damage out of a new kid bar on a push is amazing. Like,
Yeah, she's certainly a terror for my deck. I have to deal with her, otherwise I'm in trouble.
yeah,
She's very, very good.
if I can get a push on someone, especially like a Mystic player, she'll come in handy, because if I can get a push on you and you've got your Zen, your Friar, and your Angel, and I've got, Gunslinger Kyle, Captain Wendy, Sheriff, and hopefully can get out a Heidi, I'm going to pop the Kyle ability and I'm going to pop the Wendy ability, and I'm probably going to get rid of your Wendy right then and there, and the Jimmy's going to come down pretty quickly. But mind you, I don't play with like level 6 commons yet, so like that would be the difference maker. But yeah, like that's my kind of go-to push combo against a Mystic deck, right? And then when
for sure,
when you're pushing New Kid too, if you wait for them to spawn that unit, you get the New Kid hit and the spawned unit, which primarily, if it's just Wendy, like if, say, Sheriff Cartman dies at the New Kid tower and Wendy's just hitting away and I'm waiting for them to drop something, they're probably going to drop a 2-drop Assassin, and then that Assassin's going to take 120 damage on 150 health, and yeah, you might kill the Wendy, but for what I got out of it, it was worth it.
Yeah, one thing to say about Captain Wendy is that she kills equally leveled assassins. So a level 4 will kill all level 4 assassins, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is really, really nice. She works really well for that.
Yeah, but back when I was just leveling her up through Silver Shield, she was a big help in my deck. Now it's a little bit harder because most of the time I come up against level 5 common assassins, and like I said, she can't do it, but she still does enough, so... And I got Skella here asking me, do I prefer Wendy over Pirate Ship? And funny thing is, so I'm on I've said this before on my streams, but I'm on my second account. My first account I played through beta, and I did actually level up Pirate Ship, and I really did like Pirate Ship. But I just left Wendy off to the side, and she never made an appearance in any of my decks or ever got leveled up. And when I started my second account, at the worldwide release, I decided, you know what, I'm going to play Wendy. I had a lot of other cards on my old account that weren't properly leveled. Like, I had a level 3 Pocahontas Brandy that I was like, why did I do this, right? Like, I just wasted materials on an account that I had no idea how I was playing. I wasn't going for locker limits. I wasn't PvP refreshing. I was playing like once a day because I was like, oh, this game's cool, but like, I'm like, there's only so many people playing in like Canada and then 2 other countries in the world, so I'm not really like getting the most enjoyment out of this game. So I'm just kind of screwing around and I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, when I actually picked up Wendy, I chose Wendy over Pirate Ship, and it was well worth it.
Woo-woo,
nice.
Leveled up PK.
FilledWithLed just leveled up Princess Kenny from 4 to 5. So
nice.
Congratulations to him.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's kind of...
Congratulations for Mokaman or Markerman as well. He had a birthday a couple of days ago from the NAMBLINGS as well. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, congratulations. I didn't know it was his birthday. Happy birthday indeed. But yeah, I'm just going to wrap up my deck there. I don't think I have any more questions for my deck. So we'll kind of get back into a little bit more of what we're talking about and kind of shy away from the deck discussion. But yeah, there's been a lot of bugs and glitches at the end of Season 2, so we're going to touch on those. I don't want to kind of drag this out a lot, but a few of the bugs that are still running rampant are cards that are being played that energy is lost. I know that they have a hotfix coming out soon, but I just want to touch on this and kind of feel what everyone's opinions are.
Actually, it only happened for me one time, so I have been very lucky to avoid the problem.
Yep, I haven't had it happen to me at all.
Oh, nice. It happened one time, and it was before I knew it was a bug, so I was just like, what the hell is going on? And I was like tripping. I don't know if it was my Mimsy, but it was someone important. And I was like, what the hell happened here? Afterwards, I found out that it was a bug and they were fixing it. So I haven't seen it since. So I'm glad, but I can understand it's quite annoying for many people.
Yeah, I only had it happen once to me. I think I went to play Gunslinger Kyle and it just never played. But I know there's a lot of people that it happens to on a regular basis, and I gotta say, it must be one of the worst feelings in the world to go to play a card and then just lose, 3, 4, 5 energy and have no card played for it, especially if you're in a competitive match.
Definitely that would be incredibly game changing in the top tiers. Matches are so close to begin with in the top tiers that to have a card not play or like my DK not go off is pretty big deal.
Oh, especially when you're pushing at the end of the season like we have been, right? So I can understand the upset there. I love that Abiogenesis called out that bugs that negatively impact the players just keep continuing, but the bugs that award the players with more PvP tickets get fixed in 2 hours.
Yeah, that was pretty shady, I thought. I was like, really? DK can go for the entirety of the game and still be bugged, and then the moment that a positive bug comes out, they're like, nope, fix it now.
Yeah, you know that like the developers were just like, oh my god, did anyone catch this? Like, we need to fix this right away. But I played on my alternate account this morning, and or was it yesterday morning that bug came out? Whatever morning the bug came out, I think it was yesterday. I played on my alternate account, and I got 1,150 tickets for a level 8 in rank 17.
That is so huge. That's like a damn near a week's worth of tickets for you.
I know. And so like I screenshotted it and posted it to the guys in the YouTube Discord, kind of like tagging that darn Steve. And I was just like, okay, this is way too broken. And my next PvP ticket pack after they fixed it was only 150. So obviously I assumed that I was supposed to get 150, and it added the extra 1 on for some reason. But like, that's insane. Like, that was, like you said, a week's worth of grinding for me, because especially it's a free-to-play account, so I'm not refreshing, right? So that was...
Yeah, definitely.
That was awesome. But the next bug I want to touch on is the cards drawn to the hand that are already on the field, because this happens to me all the time, and it's super annoying to have, like, you have, like, I might have a lot of high cards in my hand, like Lightning Bolt, Alien Queen Red, and Sheriff Cartman, and then to have, like, Rats and Heidi and play Heidi at the start and get a second Heidi in my hand is like, well, fuck, now what am I going to play? Like, I have to play a lot of high mana cards when I don't want to.
Yep. I have had a lot of good results with it and a lot of negative results. So, card I seem to get the most in my hand twice is Zen Cartman. And so that can be really good if your Zen Cartman's about to go down and you're like, oh, just drop another 1,700 HP card right in front of my back line. But at the same time, if my Zen is staying alive and I have that Zen stuck in my hands, then that's just a dead spot. Like, there's nothing I can do because Zen isn't going to die very quickly. So there's certainly not a lot of opportunity to recycle them.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, then you're stuck with this other Zen in your hand. And like you said, it's got that positive impact as well, because you can body block a second time with the same card right away. But if you get your hand clogged up, like, that's one of the biggest problems in this game, like, for me, is when your hand starts to get clogged up with stuff you can't play. Well, I've lost that bar. There's no way I can recover my push if they have a better hand than I do.
Yep, for sure. I've had it up to 4 cards stuck in my hand already, because things just tend to stay alive with Mystic.
Yeah, because you're healing.
4 cards stuck in your hand, you're like, what the hell do I do? What do I play? I can't.
That's insane.
It's pretty ridiculous.
I've never had more than 2, but like to have 4 cards, that is actually insane.
I just got rubber banded really hard.
Did you?
Yeah. I played a rogue and Paladin died and came back, and then Paladin took out
your rogue.
The rogue, and then took out the tower.
That's rough. Another bug.
Yeah, I know that Go, one of the top 10 players from I guess Asia All Stars now is the name of the team. He had a picture he posted in the Legends chat of him having every one of his cards locked in his hand.
Really?
Like everything was on the field, and he just could not play a single card.
That would be the worst feeling, honestly, especially, like I said, in a competitive match. That would be awful.
Yep. For sure.
You got any comments on that, RedWineMimsy?
Not exactly on that one.
No, you never pull a Mimsy back into your hand after you just played it?
No, I haven't been that lucky, but I have unfortunately seen a lot players use Zen again, Cartman Zen, and right after he dies, there he comes again, and that's just too much for
Yeah, I've had
one.
that happen.
Yeah, that would hurt
6
your
months.
Mimsy for sure.
I think the
Exactly.
reason
So
that the Zen
yeah.
I think the reason that the Zen happens so much is or so often I should say is you have Zen on the field for so long that the odds of getting him back in your hand are greater than anyone else. So it's
Yeah.
But
pretty
yeah,
likely for him getting.
it has been quite annoying because a lot of the games I play like 40 or 50 games every day. And out of the 40 and 50 games, I think maybe 30 of them is matches where I lose to people who use bugs in their advantage, or maybe just spam the same cards after each other. So it's kind of annoying that I'm stuck around rank 800 or 700 or what it is currently, because I know I can do better, but I'm just stuck because I need this card to get to level 7, so I can't do nothing with my deck. I can't replace them with anything better. They are the most highest cards I have, most upgraded cards. So it annoys me when people use these bugs in their advantage. So that's just my experience with it. That I keep losing, but yeah, sometimes I win, and that's almost worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That would be more than annoying, like you said, with more or less a handicap deck because of going for that Mimsy, like you said.
Exactly.
So yeah, I want to touch on the skipped Warcry animations because SDNW mentioned it earlier when he was playing his rogue token. It instantly used the Warcry, which was a problem for him because you're trying to time that Warcry for the units that you want to kill. So what's everyone's kind of thoughts on that? Like,
If I knew how to control it with Rogue, it wouldn't be so bad. But it seems to be pretty random. I don't know if anyone knows the trick to do it, because if they do, let me know.
yeah, so
But
you're kind of hit and miss with it. Like sometimes it goes off,
yep,
sometimes it doesn't.
yep. So I can't really plan for it, and it makes it kind of risky. I have to have kind of thing stationary to use him safely.
Yeah, because like for me, I get the glitch with Alien Clyde, and like yeah, unfortunately, I do abuse it because if I have Alien Clyde, in my hand first off, then I will wait until the other unit's played, and I'll get that poison out right away. So it's positive in that sense, but to see it kind of swing the other way on like hurting yourself with the rogue token, like I wasn't even aware of that.
Yep, Rogue Token I think is the only one that really negatively impacted by it, just because it's such a timing based card that if you screw up that timing by that 1 second, it can really crush you. Because usually you're trying to kill assassins with Rogue.
Yeah, and
So
so then you
if those
miss.
assassins live, you're pretty much out for energy.
Yeah, and then they're just gonna chop down the rogue.
Yep.
Yeah, so that bug definitely needs. I think that needs to be fixed. That needs to be a priority too, because that's a hard, especially when you have epics like Hook and Clyde and Rogue Token that are using that have that bug in them.
Mm-hmm.
You've invested a lot to get your whether it's your level 3 or your level 4 epic, and then to have that happen is just it's very unfortunate.
Yep. Gert the Fish is asking if anyone knows why the Elo is swinging so much, and yes, it is because of the reset. All the Elo got reset, so it's super volatile right now. You're gonna have a lot of people in higher ranks than they belong, and a lot of people in lower ranks than they belong, and you're just gonna be jumping for a while until things balance out and the Elo is really established. So that'll go away after a few days.
Yeah, perfect. So last glitch we'll touch on here, and then we'll kind of wrap it up with our question period. Is the hyperdrive glitch? Like I know it's going to be a passionate subject, and a lot of people are going to have probably both sides for it. But what's everyone's thoughts? That major glitch happening a week before Season 2 ends and fluctuating the elo so much.
Absolute cancer. Absolute cancer. And the thing is,
Exactly.
the thing that pisses me off the most about it is they say that it happened because they needed to change the animations, but to make them like smoother, but they didn't need to change the animations. They just needed to override animations' abilities to be canceled by other attacks. So the recoil animation is what was canceling the attack animation, and all they had to do was add an if or an or variable or whatever into the coding, and it would have fixed it. So I call absolute bullshit. I totally think that it was an intentional thing by somebody, and they just wanted to see how it would work out. I really do. I can't imagine that it was an accident, because, like I said, the animation issues, they didn't need to change the animations. And that, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, just like that's a good point. It seems like somebody was kind of testing the waters. Like, hey, we just released this huge update that had Stand of Many Moons go from a card that's not being played by anyone to being played in every adventure deck that's out there. What if we can do the same with Hyperdrive? Because, maybe there's only 2% of the entire game population using that card. So let's see if we can kind of flip that and see if it can be a good card. And then they might have went over the top and without proper testing to know that, oh crap, this is what it was going to do.
Yeah, there certainly wasn't any real play testing in the BFU patch,
No.
as evidenced by all the bugs and all the issues. Had it been properly play tested, had they had proper quality assurance, that it's an unacceptable bug.
Yeah, because you would think that if you're gonna play test and update, you would play every card in at least one scenario just to see how it's gonna test.
Especially if you're doing an animation upgrade or an animation change, you think you would test out cards that affect animations,
Absolutely.
So I am incredibly salty about that, especially being towards the end of a season. Like, what the hell?
Yep.
Absolutely insane.
I think it's very warranted, and I think a lot of people are on the same page. RedWineMimsy, what do you think about the hyperdrive glitch?
I actually enjoyed it the first hour, because I got to use it on my Mimsy, of course, and try to take it in my advantage. Unfortunately, I dropped like 200 rankings because of that, so I quickly changed it back to my normal deck again. I actually don't know. I think it was a stupid time to make the mistake, or yeah, it was a stupid time for the mistake to happen. I don't know if it was intentionally or not, because the season was so close to ending. So yeah, it stirred some channels up, that's for sure. It was a problem that a lot of people saw, and I don't know, I just got annoyed every time people used it with their stupid rats to destroy the new kid within the last 10 seconds of a even game. So
it was really sad seeing it go from never being played in almost every deck.
Exactly. It was really everyone had it afterwards. Like the first day, it was like 90% of the games I had was against people who was using hyperdrive. So
yep, as if sci-fi wasn't hard enough for my Mystic deck to deal with.
Exactly.
Why not just buff them more?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I was reading on some of the Facebook group and even some of the just the regular South Park Reddit Discord, people were changing their entire play style and switching to sci-fi to play a level 1 hyperdrive, which was just as good as playing a level 4 hyperdrive because you still get 6 seconds. So they would play under leveled cards with a theme that's leveled just because they wanted to play hyperdrive, right?
Yeah.
So to have that drastic effect on the game is just insane. Do you have
anything? It's a game changer, that's for sure.
Because I've been using Astro the whole time, it wasn't that big a deal for me.
Yeah, I had the same.
I didn't really
thing.
Change anything.
I wasn't gonna take Astronaut Butters out of my deck either, right?
Yeah.
It's a level.
That's understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a level 4 max card that I've been working on for a while. And yeah, I had already played that combo with my Sally, and I know like a lot of people play it with Ike, and a lot of people play it with Kenny. So like, why wouldn't I keep playing that combo? It's an integral part of my deck. It sucks that it's hurting people a lot more than it was before.
Yep, absolutely. I think the most cancerous thing I ran into was PC Principal with Hyperdrive. You just could not stop him from hitting your tower.
Actually,
there was no way you
I ran into that too, actually.
Did you?
Yeah.
Guys, actually, I have a funny story about the PC Principal. You know, he pushes his opponents. So what I like to do when people use him right away is I wait him just to get across the middle point of the battlefield, and I'll just put Mimsy in there, and then he'll automatically push him towards his own new kid. That's actually pretty fucking funny, guys. I've done it a couple of times. I'm laughing every time. I'm always given the thanks option. It's like, thanks for the boost, mate.
Yep.
I had never thought about that with a Mimsy. I know a lot of people push those assassins, but like, yeah, that Mimsy, and he would just keep chasing you and keep pushing you.
Yeah, exactly. Keep pushing me in the back, and I'll just get closer and closer to the new kid, and by then he will probably lose because I'm there within 2 or 3 seconds instead of 10 seconds.
And they just invested the 4 or 5 energy for PC Principal, so that's quite a bit.
Oh,
God,
I didn't know that.
That's hilarious. That's really funny.
Yeah, I'm having some fun matches. Yeah,
certainly an assassin launcher.
Yeah, and if you have that level 5 assassin, a common assassin, like you're getting pushed to the new kid, and you're taking most of that bar, if not the whole bar.
Exactly.
Okay, so like that's kind of more or less all the glitches I wanted to touch on. If there's any that you guys want to talk about, like I know you brought up rubber banding.
Yeah, well, I just got rubber banded, that's why.
And I know that's a shitty glitch too.
I actually had a new glitch that I experienced yesterday. I don't know if anybody else have experienced it. I experienced it twice actually in 2 games in a row. The glitch was it was not a glitch; it was a bug. Every time I used one of my characters who had a what do you call it? Ability. I'm sorry. When I use one of my if I use one of my charge abilities, it was like pointing out that I can press on it and activate them, but when I did, it didn't activate them, but it's shown like it has done it. So it was like circling around the character again to him for it to charge up. That happened to me twice yesterday, 2 games in a row. So I couldn't use my abilities of none of my characters, and of course lost two matches in a row because of that.
Yeah, that's
super annoying. I don't. Yeah, it's you can use stand the great or anything else. You're defenseless. You only got their health and their attack to rely on. And
and a lot of cards are based off of their charge, so that would really hurt that card.
Exactly. So I was like, fuck this, man. I'm just breaking my phone in health. Go to bed.
I have not experienced that glitch, but I would not want to either, so. Yeah, go ahead.
Excuse me?
Oh, if there's anyone...
I'm finished.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna talk more about Dwarf King Clyde and how it's unacceptable that he is still bugged after this long, because I thought for sure he'd be fixed by now. I thought for sure. I mean, I kept leveling him up even knowing he was bugged. As soon as this is fixed, this is going to be a great card. And, 4 months later, here he is. Here he is, still bugged as all hell, and I'm still losing matches because of it.
And, like, the sad part is...
playing him so much, yeah.
The sad part is, you're right. Like, he would be a really good card.
Yep. Really cool glitch you can do with Dwarf King Clyde is when the opponent is using Mecha Tim. You drop Dwarf King Clyde away from your characters, so he'll have enough distance that if he gets mind controlled, he's not going to hit him. Then when Mecha Timmy mind controls him, he'll start launching at one of your characters. And then if he breaks mind control before hitting your character, he will dash to the closest enemy character and then after that enemy character dies, he will dash to the next character or to the new kid or whatever. He just keeps dashing in between. He doesn't do the war cry damage, but his movement will always be the dash after the enemy he's attacking dies.
Really?
So I've had him just like pinball around the screen, and it's pretty hilarious to watch.
That would be funny.
Yeah, super fun to do.
Biogenesis.
I do it for the lols at this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like you say, that pinball effect where it's bouncing back and forth.
Yep.
Biogenesis says if Dwarf King were dropping PvP tickets while he charged across the screen, they would have fixed him 3 months ago.
For sure. For sure.
So just so all the viewers know, I've just put up a collage here of some of the fantastic artwork that Nigel Jens does on NAMBLA team for some of our fellow teammates and for people outside on other teams. I believe he's just opened it up to anyone in the community that wants to give him a $20 donation. He will draw one of these fantastic pictures of your new kid for you. And all you have to do is hit him up at NigelJens #0851. And like I said, I believe he's using PayPal for a $20 donation. And then he'll draw a fantastic picture of your new kid like that you can use however you like. I know most of the guys on our team right now are using them for their Discord pictures. So, yeah, hit him up.
Yep, definitely some quality work there, as you can see. So
yeah, I was just telling him the other day that come my next paycheck, I will be purchasing one for myself because it would be a nice little addition to my overlay on my main streams, I think.
For sure.
But other than that, we have got some time here for the questions, and we'll open it up to the chat and see if anyone has any questions that they want to ask anyone specifically, or a broad one that they want all four of us to answer. And then after that question period, we'll kind of end off, and yeah, that'll be our episode 1. So it looks like Callie said, "Red Wine, are you doing the art?" As I just.
Well, I think he might mean. Are
you buying some?
Get one.
I think actually he means, are you doing art? Like, is this something I made? I don't think the should have been there. I don't know. Maybe he can clarify for us, Callie. And clarify.
What the hell?
Do you mean?
We don't understand you, man.
Yeah. Do you mean drawing or do you mean purchasing?
Are you doing the art? The art of masturbation. Yes, I am.
Whoa,
I am level 8 currently.
Does that increase your new kid level faster? I didn't know that.
No. Just to maybe I can just.
Yeah. So he's asking if you're buying.
It's not the first priority I got in my life right now, but I could imagine myself someday maybe just print it out in color and hang it up on my wall instead.
You could get him to draw you one where your new kid is actually like riding a Mimsy, like. But
is he doing this in his hands, on his computer?
It's digital. They are digital paint overs.
But he has like a pen and a tablet, right?
Yeah, I believe he's using a pen and tablet for it.
I like them. I always comment on them when I see them in the different Discord channels. I always think it's great to see. But no, I don't think I'm gonna be the first in line to buy them. Just because I'm just a cheap fucker. So.
You cheap fucker, not supporting Nigel.
I like to invest in important stuff like Mimsys and such instead.
I hope Nigel is keeping notes of all of his sales so he can do it for taxes.
I hope he'll never hear this podcast.
I don't know like how that would work with donations. I don't know if it would be considered a business. Or a hobby.
If you're calling them donations, I guess you can. But
I believe
sure
that's
the
what he's
IRS
calling
isn't tuning in.
I have the orange tuxedo with the Valentine's Day hearts on it, and I want to ask him to do like a casino painting for me, where like my guy's like sitting at a casino table and have like fancy like shiny slot machines in the background and stuff.
I'm wearing that with green.
I think everyone really liked that. That was a sweet event to get from the Valentines, like to have that tuxedo with the. And I think everyone, what they do, they made like the tuxedo white and then the hearts white, so it was just a plain white tuxedo or something, or maybe it was black.
Yep.
I want to change that.
it was white.
Tuxedo.
Yeah, you can make it so it looks like that James Bond white tuxedo.
Time to change
for
that.
sure.
Yeah. Lappy's back. Do you have any questions, Lappy? Does anyone in the chat have a question for any of these fine gentlemen we have on here? Because if not, I think we're about to wrap up here. I'll keep it open for a few more minutes, see if anyone's got anything, but...
I actually got something on my heart. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but if you go to the Cartman shop and keep pressing on his head, it's actually quite funny to see his reactions. I don't know if you have tried that before, but try it afterwards. Just try to keep pushing on his head.
Just keep doing it. Keep smacking him as long as
maybe they'll drop a card. I don't know. Maybe there's a secret in there. Maybe you'll get the visitors or something.
Oh, believe me. When I was bored, I tried for a very long period of time. I was hoping something cool. After a while, he just keeps doing the same thing. But it's pretty funny.
I think that
Callie Scruff is asking me what my dream car is. I think probably realistically an Evo 9, unrealistically a Lotus Exige. So there you go.
Nice.
I'm a Mitsubishi guy though, so. I've got my Eclipse right now, which is my 7th Eclipse that I am on. I kind of collect them. So.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Is that what you were sitting in the vlog, Rabble?
Yep, that's what I'm sitting in, all the videos that I do, all my...
It looked nice. It was like, you got a nice big sunroof in it. It looked like fully loaded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It came with the full Rockford Fosgate sound system in it. So, yeah. Decent. Nice car.
I bet. Lappy wants you to rate her. Well, I assume you, because you play similar deck style. Yeah. I couldn't rate her deck or his deck.
Him.
Yeah, him. Sorry, I'm so used to that. But so Zen, Angel, Wendy, Fryer, Powerbind, Stan the Great, Princess Kenny, Paladin Butters, Rogue Token, Catapult Timmy, Nelly Rats, and Terrence.
I think that is pretty good. Yeah, it's super solid. If I had Wendy, if I had Nelly, I would run Nelly. The only thing, Terrence is really good in that case. If you have Nelly already at 3 cost, yeah, nothing too much that I would change there, other than maybe I would drop Terrence for regen, which is probably pretty controversial at this point, but I think it's really helpful with the. You're still kind of doing the death ball theme there. So I think regen is pretty solid. Skella asks, why not Hercules instead of Powerbind Lappy? But I will answer that myself. The problem with Hercules is you can't necessarily target what you want to do. Say you have a Stand of Many Moons that gets dropped in the back and there's already things in front of him, you're not going to be able to hit him and stop him. And that is incredibly detrimental to your chances if something like Stand of Many Moons stays up. So that is why I would say not to use her.
I think that's a good reason.
I actually have a comment on Lappy's deck here. The first one, Zen, I think definitely he should take that out of his deck.
Yeah, that's just a bad.
I think it's a crappy card. It's just in general a crappy card. So please take it out.
It doesn't even have any attack.
Zen is our god. Praise Zen.
Zen is the ultimate destroyer of Mimsies. He's just standing there and just being hit in the side of his stomach.
Just sucking Mimsies up.
Yeah.
Into the
or Lappy, you can try Unholy Combustion too. It can be pretty fun.
Actually, that's quite fun when people do that. If I see unholy combustion, I'm gonna trick them somehow. Maybe put my BGA in if I have him in my deck, or my someone else. It could be Marcus, just to trick them to use the UC on them instead. So
I just eat the Marcuses and drop and wait for them to get someone close to my tower, and I'll just drop Friar Jimmy right there. Just heal it up. I had that happen earlier. Someone had a level 4 Marcus, and they managed to get a charge off on me, and I was so close to my tower that I just dropped Friar there and healed all the way back up to 500 health, and I was just like,
oh, damn.
Yeah, Friar is a key card for that, healing up the new kid. I'm going to ask you, though, if you put Unholy Combustion into Lappy's deck, which card would you suggest taking out?
They take out Mephisto.
Yeah, I was about to say Terrence.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Skella
you already have so much AoE.
Yeah.
Yeah. AoE can be like a blessing and a curse. Sometimes it's nice to have a lot, and then other times it's just too much.
Yeah.
Skella wants to ask us all, what do we think about the new card coming, and if we get a team event this weekend or not. So I know we covered this earlier in the chat about talking about Robo Bebe and like what team events we're going to kind of be. But if anyone wants to just kind of touch on it again and kind of give a little condensed version for Skella, go right ahead.
So yeah, Robo Bebe, potentially a very, very scary card depending on how much attack speed she gets increased. Has it been confirmed that she's going to be the new card?
I don't think so. I think that's what we were just kind of guessing at.
Yeah, she's been speculated for a while as being the next in line.
Has Fantasy got a new card yet? Since Adventure's got a new card, Mystical's got a couple.
And Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi's gotten a couple too. Yeah, Fantasy. Not that I can think of. I'm sure I'm missing something here, but yeah, Fantasy hasn't had one in a while. It may actually be Blood Elf Bebe that comes out. Blood Elf Bebe heals off of kills, so that could be pretty cool, being able to keep herself up. But I don't think it'll be as good as Robo Bebe, which gets the attack speed off of kills. And like I said, depending on how much the attack speed is, that could be an absolute devastating card to have on the field. You get a swarm of rats, you kill all the rats, and then you just start melting everything in front of you. So, pretty scary.
Replacement for Terrence Circata is what I'm hoping one of them can be for me.
Is a Blood Elf or a Robo. I just want to call out Buccaneer Bebe. Like, I know a lot of people shit on her, but like,
not bad.
I think if you can build up, like, I think she would be good in like an Adventure Mystical deck where you're building a wall in front of her. Because sure. Mine's level 4 right now, and to get like a plus 14 for 1 kill on top of a 70 damage unit for range, like, you can get that unit up plus 100 like damage total really quickly with like 3 or 4 kills.
Yep, I used to have a lot of fun when I was playing lower players. Before Purify was nerfed out of my deck, I would intentionally feed their Bebe to see how much health or how much damage I could get it boosted to, and then right before they wanted to do anything with it, I just purify them.
That is cheesy.
Just to have fun, in matches that I know I would win. Just like, here's some rats, here's an assassin that you're now one-shotting at this point. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna destroy. This is gonna melt everything, and it's like purify, and it's like, oh.
They're just sitting there, right sour, right sad. That's hilarious.
That's one thing I miss about the matchmaking, right? To have as many of those really just fun goofing around matches.
Which, like, if you wanted to, you could tank rank a little bit and drop down at the beginning of the season, play some funnier decks and some decks you wouldn't normally play competitively, and then go back up afterwards, which, with the reset of the ELO, it probably makes it even easier to do that right now, because you only probably need to take, 3 or 4 losses to be down on a new tier of opponents.
Yeah, for sure. But, I think if I lost maybe like 3 matches, I'd probably be down to out of the top 100 even.
There's a possibility. The way that the climb is, for sure. So, I think we're going to wrap this up now. But I just want to thank all three of you guys for coming on and doing this with me today, because
Yeah, it's been fun.
when I first kind of pitched it, I wasn't sure, how much response I was going to get, and in the past like 3 days leading up to it, it seems like the response is just going higher and higher, and I might be able to kind of just run this once a week. So that's more or less my plan. I'm not going to keep this stuck with just NAMBLA players. I'm gonna reach out and have more community members on. I know Average Guy's already reached out to me about this, and he would like to be on here, so I think that could be a fun episode, with a couple NAMBLA guys that he used to be a teammate with. But I also think even just having like one of the audience members on, maybe once a month or once every other month, kind of once every 4 or 8 episodes, have somebody, just a random audience member on, and let them chat with us and see what their perspective of all this is. But I do want to keep it primarily, team oriented, and I want to have everyone that I can get that wants to be on the show from this team, because we have a lot of awesome talent and a lot of really good people. And out of the 200 of us now that there is with NAMBLAST, even though it's kind of decided to be its own entity, it's still going to be, always an ally. I think there's a lot of cool people that would love to come on here and just, shoot the shit.
For sure, man. Absolutely. Like I said, when I saw you doing it, I was like, yeah, I'd be on. So I know that there'll be plenty of other people that would love to get on here as well. So definitely be a good time.
Cool. Well, like I said, guys, thank you very much.
HyperDrive is definitely still bugged. There's no way she should not have taken out. She should not have taken out that tower.
and with that,
yeah,
this to a close.
we will end this on HyperDrive is still bugged. Again, thanks for coming out, guys. Thanks for everyone in the chat for viewing this, and hopefully we can keep this going next week. I don't have a definitive time, but as far as I know, Lappy has reached out to me and wants to be on, so I'll get 2 other guests on with Lappy, and we will talk about Lappy's awesome free-to-play account being in the top 100 and where they finished Season 2 in. But thanks a lot, YouTube, and have a good